All right, let's jump right in. If you're in the pharma world, you need to know that 2026 is officially the year of no more excuses. Why? Well, it's because the FDA has completely changed the rules of the game. A massive rule change is now on the books, and believe me, for anyone in quality assurance or operations, the stakes have never ever been higher.
And this quote, it just nails it. It perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about today. All those old strategies, the checklists you've used for years, the old ways of thinking, they're not just outdated, they are officially obsolete. Sticking with them is a one-way ticket to a warning letter. The playbook has been totally rewritten. And here's the culprit, the reason for this giant shift. It's called QMSR, the new Quality Management System Regulation. Now, this is not some small update. We're talking about a complete overhaul. The whole point is to line up U.S. regulations with global standards, specifically ISO 1348. This is the new reality, and it's the foundation for every single compliance trap we're about to break down. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to cover the 5 biggest traps that are catching even the big players completely off guard. We'll count them down from 5 to 1, and we're starting with a classic mistake, one that involves your partners. Coming in at number 5 is what I call passive supplier oversight. This is all about treating your contract manufacturing organization, your CMO, with a set-it-and-forget-it attitude. In 2026, the FDA is making it crystal clear. You are on the hook for your contractor's mistakes. In the eyes of an auditor, their facility is your facility. Their mess is your mess. So the bottom line here is that passive oversight is dead and gone. Just auditing a supplier every couple of years? Nope, not going to cut it. The 2026 fix is all about active risk-based oversight. So let's say your CMO has a microbial issue. You can't just file away their report. You have to prove that you personally evaluated how effective their corrective actions were. That might even mean having your own boots on the ground over there. All right, moving on to number 4. I like to call this data integrity 2.0. See, just having basic data hygiene is old news. The FDA is now using some pretty advanced analytics to comb through your audit trails. And you know what they're looking for? They're hunting for what's missing, the metadata. The fail here is so simple, but it's absolutely deadly. Things like disabling audit trails, using shared logins in the lab, or having records that don't tell the whole story. If a result gets deleted, your audit trail better show exactly who did it, when they did it, and why they did it. The fix isn't just about having the data, it's about proving you are actively auditing your own audit trails. Without that context, you are staring right at an OAI, official action indicated. On to number 3. And this is probably one of the most common things we see, everywhere from New Jersey to Hyderabad. It's doing surface-level investigations. It's the failure to really dig deep and find the true root cause when something goes wrong. Listen, if an auditor flips through your investigation reports and the root cause is always human error and the solution is always retraining, that is a massive flashing red flag. To the FDA, this screams systemic failure. It means you're only ever finding the what, but you're never finding the why. The 2026 expectation, you fix the process, not just blame the person. So, how do you prove you're actually doing a deep dive? Well, this is what the FDA wants to see. They want to see you using formal, documented methods like the 5 Whys or a fishbone diagram. They want to see the paper trail of your investigation, proving you dug deep to fix the underlying process that let the human error happen in the first place. Okay, our runner-up for the top audit failure is a renewed and frankly an incredibly intense focus on your facility's maintenance and cleaning validation. I'm calling it the Sanitary Crackdown. The physical state of your plant is under the microscope like never before. With this new focus on aseptic integrity, things that might have seemed minor before, like peeling paint, a little bit of rust on pipes, or areas where microbes could hide, these are no longer minor observations. They are instant fails. And a last-minute deep clean before the audit? Forget about it. They'll see right through it. The expectation now is that facility upkeep is part of your daily culture, backed up by things like routine microbial mapping. And here it is. The number one reason companies are failing their FDA audits in 2026. This is the silent killer of 483s this year. It's simply failing to manage the QMSR transition itself. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? There's a hard line in the sand, February 2nd, 2026. Before that date, the old rules applied. After that date, the new QMSR is in full force. The old rulebook, it's gone. Poof. And there is no grace period.
And this is really where the rubber meets the road. The phrase, "we've always done it this way," is probably the most dangerous sentence in the industry right now. If your standard operating procedures still reference the old regulations, you are fundamentally non-compliant. The fix is to do a top-to-bottom gap analysis right now. Align all your SOPs with the new standards and integrate risk management across the entire product lifecycle instead of leaving it stuck in a silo.
So when you take a step back and you look at all 5 of these things together, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. This whole shift from how you manage suppliers, to your data, to the paint on your walls, it's all about moving away from a reactive checklist mindset. The FDA isn't just hunting for isolated mistakes anymore. They are auditing your entire culture of quality. And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? This isn't just about updating a few documents here and there. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset and practice across your whole organization. So, as you think about everything we've just covered, the real question you need to ask yourself is this: is your quality culture truly ready for 2026?